to Islam, they reverted to their pagan religion. They said, no, that's too much. How can we believe him? Subhanallah. But those who were asking, they said to the Prophet, and you came back tonight? He said, yes. They said, all right, describe to us Baytul Maqdis. The Prophet said, there's nothing that was really more horrible and heavy to me than this moment when they asked me to describe to them, and I don't remember. I went by night. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed people something maybe similar to this today. At the wall of Abu Talib's house. At the wall of Abu Talib's house. Okay. And he said to them, I saw this, and this, and this. So they said, as for describing this, wallahi, it was true. But as for believing it, we don't know. They don't know whether to believe it. But as the description, wallahi, it's 100% perfect. So this rude person was... So at that moment, Abu Jahl and the others came to Abu Bakr and they said to him, do you know what happened to your companion? Tonight he went to Baytul Maqdis and he returned on the same night in 1 hour. Do you believe him? He said, yes, wallahi, I believe him. You, Abu Bakr, believe him? Wallahi, I believe him. I believed him in something more than that. That Allah is revealing to him verses from heaven. Shouldn't I believe him in this? That's why he was described as Siddiq, the extreme believer. Excuse me. So he was so strengthened when the people decided to abandon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the moments of establishing Islam. That's why Islam shows gratefulness to those who supported Islam in its early time, in its weak time. That is why if you work on establishing Islam here and you succeeded, you'll be given greater rewards than those who will be coming after you, using the efforts you made and enlarging the numbers of the Muslims. But if you establish something, if you constructed something, you'll be given more rewards, because Islam will be grateful to you. You are constructing from the beginning. It had been mentioned that Abu Bakr did not really precede you in much prayer and fasting, but in something that had occurred in his heart, the God-fearing. A beautiful story happened that shows how much Abu Bakr was a great person. The Prophet ﷺ, he gained a land and he divided it between Abu Bakr and Rabi' al-Aslami. But there was a tree between the two lands. And that tree, it enters to the land of Rabi' al-Aslami while it is so close to the land of Abu Bakr. So they were disputing. Rabi'a said, this tree deserves to be in my land. Abu Bakr said, no, it's in my land. Then they started to speak. Then suddenly Abu Bakr said a word that Rabi'a hated, and Abu Bakr regretted. Then Abu Bakr said, Rabi'a, say to me what I said to you, so it will be qisas. Retaliation, something like retaliation? Revenge. Give me back the word I said against you. He said, no. He said, you better do it. Say to me the same word I said to you. He said, no, I'll not do it. He said, wallahi, I'll provoke the Prophet to be an enemy to you. Wallahi, I'll use the... You know how close I am to the Prophet Muhammad. And usually, if you're close to someone, you'll be using him, for your favor, not for the favor of the others, against yourself. So Rabi'a said, I'm not gonna say it. He said, I'm going to the Prophet. He went. Rabi'a said, I was chasing him. Then the tribe of Aslam, you know, his name is Rabi'a al-Aslami. That means he belongs to the tribe of Aslam. The tribe, many people among his tribe, they heard what happened. And they started to chase Rabi'a, you know, to be on his side. You know, tribal people. Rabi'a said to them, where are you going? They said, may Allah forgive Abu Bakr. Why he has to go to the Prophet while he's the one who said that word to you? He said, do you know this man? He's the second of the two. He is the old Muslim among all the Muslims. Wallahi, if he turned back and looked at you and he realizes that you're chasing him, he'll be angry. And soon the Prophet will be angry for his anger. And Allah will be angry for the anger of the Prophet ﷺ. They said, so what do you tell us? What shall we do? He said, get back. Get back. So as if he's saying, I want to do that. I want to solve the problem between me and him alone, together. So Abu Bakr went, and Rabi'a heard him reporting to the Prophet everything, completely. Then the Prophet looked at Rabi'a and he said, Rabi'a, what do you have to do with As-Siddiq? He said, oh Prophet, we disputed about a tree, and then he said a word to me, which I didn't like, and he regretted, and he was forcing me to say it back to him. And I'm not going to say it to him. The Prophet ﷺ said, yes, do not say it to him, but say to Abu Bakr, may Allah forgive you, Abu Bakr. May Allah forgive you, Abu Bakr. May Allah forgive you, Abu Bakr. Then Abu Bakr went back and he was crying. He wanted to make sure that he will get out from life and he had not wronged, harmed any person. Even he had a slave that he used to be working in the land and bring the production of the land, fruits, vegetables, bringing them to Abu Bakr. But someday he brought to him some food from haram source. Abu Bakr started to eat. He said, do you know, Abu Bakr, where did I get that money from? He said, where from? He said, I was making something like fortune telling. And I'm not expert on that, but I deceived the person and I got money from him. The moment Abu Bakr heard this, put his finger inside his throat and he vomited everything he ate. Immediately. Do you think such person will be harming Ahlul Bayt? Will be harming Fatima radiallahu anha? Will be harming Ali radiallahu anhu? La wallah. And then Ali radiallahu anhu will be calling his son Abu Bakr? What is the mind of people, subhanallah? The books of the Shia confessed that Ali had a son after the Abu Bakr's Khilafah. He called him Abu Bakr, and a son he called him Omar. And guess what? Omar bin Ali ibn Abi Talib, by the confession of the Shia, by Al-Majlisi, that he died in Karbala with Al-Hussein. Some other scholars, they disagreed with Al-Majlisi. They said, no, he was killed, he was put in jail and he died in the jail, etc. But they agreed that Ali has a son called Omar, that Ali has a son called Abu Bakr. They confessed it. There is no doubt that Abu Bakr was so skillful in extinguishing the fitna that occurred after the Prophet's death. You know how can people falsely pass through some false ideas? And those people who declined to pay the zakat, they emotionally they did the same. They said, the Prophet died. Wallahi, the charity that we used to give him, we're not going to give it to anyone after him. He died. No charity given to anyone. Because it's very